Raymundo thing first. Let me do the Raymundo thing first. So a guy named Raymundo2112 put out a video like yesterday, and it's already gone. It seems like he normally covers I don't like Matt Pat. This is what his YouTube looks like. It's like Matt Pat Slop. Right? So if you go down here, it's all stuff for like kids, late teens maybe, and disaffected 4chaners. He's got a lot of views. Stop saying unalive. Derpy Gate. We're all infected. Peanut butter outbreak. It's like light horror content. Basically, he put out a video calling out DramaTube for putting out slop content. And they all made fun of him. And they compared him to In Praise of Shadows, and he fucking left. I think like fucking a half hour ago or an hour ago, I randomly tuned into Chud Logic's stream, and Chud Logic was interviewing him. So there you go. That's a death knell right there. People calling dude call-ins to Chud Logic like constantly. I've noticed that they're pretty fucking good about that on the DramaTube. Y'all fucking always talking to each other. It's crazy. But not Nina. Y'all fucking didn't let Nina call in. Kicked her out. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So I think the issue with this is that it is actually a problem. I think some people are sensitive to it. But Raymundo went about it in like the wrong way. I would shout out Diesel, because now that's the only fucking evidence I have of this video existing. I listened to Diesel watching it while I was playing Space Marine 2 last night. FPS Diesel. Check him out. And it was pretty much what you would expect. If you have like a lot of familiarity with this, if you don't like DramaTube, it would have clicked for you immediately, but it would have clicked for you in the bad way, where it's like you will agree with it because you don't like the people involved. That doesn't mean that it's not also lightly correct, which is why they're a little bit upset about it. YouTube has always had a slop problem because YouTube has always been slop. Okay? I know this is gonna fucking blow your minds, because some of you actually did grow up with like MatPat and Markiplier, and you watched the one Minecraft streamer maybe that didn't try to fuck all the kids that watched the Minecraft streams. Good for you. I was alive before YouTube, so I saw YouTube through its nascence, its adolescence, until the point where I started making content on it because I can actually make some money back for it. YouTube has always been, you get what you pay for, and you don't pay for YouTube generally. You know what I mean? You might have your YouTube Red or premium app subscriptions, whatever. That don't even bother trying to make that argument. YouTube has always been trash. But the thing is most people don't need high level content. You're not trying to sit down every day and have your entire fucking brain robbed of its attention by some premiere fucking like high level television show. You know what I mean? Every day that you turn on a screen and see what's on it or listen to it in the background, it doesn't have to be the fucking Sopranos. You know, it doesn't have to be the good seasons of Game of Thrones. It doesn't have to be some high level cerebral French film. Most of the time, a little bit of trash is okay. You know how we had like nursery rhymes and songs that everybody knows that kind of like somehow like transcend like even like language barriers and stuff, and everyone's like dun 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 dun, and they're like, oh yeah, that's a completely different song where I'm from, but I know that fucking, it's because we've always done this. For a long time, like the only fucking content that was out there was just the fucking Bible, and people were, okay, that's cool. There's like 8,000 fucking stories in this piece of shit. I'll listen to the Nebuchadnezzar thing again. I don't give a fuck. Because people need some shit on in the background to quell their predator searching for instincts that have yet to die in our species, okay? You need background noise. And good background noise is not exactly common all the time. You know, you got to search through a lot of shit. It comes in waves, and novelty is a big aspect of it. So new content is important. YouTube filled that niche. Okay, before we had YouTube, you had what we call television, all right? Maybe in just a few years before that came out, not television, but YouTube and stuff, You might not even have had that many cable television stations, right? You might have even had just normal ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, 4 fucking stations, all right? Which meant that the content that was on those things had to appeal to the biggest swath of people possible, all right? And it had to appeal to the most amount of sensibility, the most common sense of sensibilities that existed, period, all right? So you had really, really dry but very good, often news programs. Very, very dry but good, often sitcoms and comedy and stuff. That all went away because we got more channels and people didn't want to necessarily, that didn't like speak to them to 100%. It just like satisfied. It really was slop, even though it was really good, because it wasn't what you wanted. You know what I mean? So you're just like, I'm just fucking watching it to burn time. Then you get cable. Cable spreads out and you start getting like, oh, wow, this is really edgy. And then you get like, oh, shit, this is actually fucking crazy. Girls taking their titties out on commercials in the middle of the night. Girls Gone Wild stuff, all right? With the onset of cable came the onset of reality TV shows, which is, and gossip TV. Really, real gossip TV, not just like hard copy, which already fucking existed anyway on major news shows, major channels and stuff. An Inside Edition, which were celebrity gossip things. You had smaller level gossips. You had reality TV stars who were just interesting as fuck personalities, and you wanted to see what they got into. The lol cows, before you all started saying that word, were people that everybody knew. One of the original lol cows was a guy named Puck from fucking MTV. He was on a show called The Real Life, which I was trying to say that sarcastically, but that you might not even know. That was a real show called The Real Life. Real World on MTV. I'm thinking of the Surreal Life. The Real World on MTV. And he was in the first season of it, and everyone fucking hated him. But MTV kind of pioneered like slapping yourself in the balls. You had Jackass, you had a bunch of knockoff versions of shit like that. And then you had people like Bam Margera, who became a legitimate like D-list celebrity from being what we would consider nowadays an online internet personality. That's what they started with. Before they were on MTV and stuff, it was Cam Kill Yourself, which was internet videos before we had YouTube. He's one of the first YouTube stars. Oh, fuck, what, really? Yeah, before YouTube existed. That's what the entire Jackass crew is. Okay, so none of this is new. That's kind of the issue I have. Is this belief, you iPad kids, we called you iPad kids, now you're adults, you're in your early 20s. We've been talking about how doomed you are. Don't worry, you should be fine. Since 2012, when I would see you guys on your little leashes. Your parents would have you on little leashes at the Starbucks with your iPad 2. Playing Minecraft and shit. Now you're all in your goddamn 20s. All right, fucking cool. On a leash and you're 12. You're all in your fucking 20s now, okay? You grew the fuck up. I get it, all right? You think the world is new. It's not, all right? I'm going to be the first adult that's going to tell you all of the sense of novelty that you've ever felt in your life, it was because of you, not because of the world. The world has been a cold, crusted, over chunk of shit for a long time. Everything that you see is reiterations of stuff that's already kind of existed. It's evolutions. Sometimes it's new, and the fact that you can't like, oh wow, the thing that it comes from, it's completely fucking different based. But like a lot of the issues especially are stuff we've been talking about fucking forever. When I was a kid, a child, 13, iPad kid before iPads, they talked about MTV destroying my generation and being bad for television. All you see on TV is all of this slop, okay? In the 90s, 10 years before that, the cartoons were saying, wow, people got cable television. 1,000 TV, there's 1,000 channels and nothing's on. It's all garbage. And if you keep going back and keep going back, you go back to books and you say, oh, wow, there's a lot of books in the library. Only 4 or 5 of them are fucking, not even Cormac McCarthy at the time. I don't know, whoever the fuck people wanted to give a shit about in the moment. All the rest of this is bodice rippers and pornography. Booga-da-booga-da-buh. There's always somebody coming along noticing that things could be better and they're not, and pretending like because they noticed it, it's now a new problem. Not the case. Not the case immediately. This is kind of the issue with the Raymundo video. Me listening to it seems like he's a young person who simultaneously doesn't like the drama tube sphere, which is completely justifiable. Drama tube guy, you guys know you're cunts. Come on. It's fine. I'm not judging you for it. It's kind of like the appeal. You know what I mean? Gossipy, pissy, whispery fucking prudes, and scolds. It's fine. That's the appeal. That's why we want it. You guys are basically just an evolution of Perez Hilton. You're the same fucking thing. Just own it. You know what I mean? Even drawing to the drawing doodles and little faces on your gossip sheets. Oh yeah, you call them doc. It's docs now. Oh, do you have a Google Doc on this guy? It's called a gossip sheet. It's been around for fucking ever. Scandal sheet was a thing that existed once upon a time. Fuck, everyone thinks that it's new. No, you just had the same good idea that other people have had, and you've evolved it and adapted it to the new era. So it's your own thing now. Cool, based, sick, dope. But the thing is if you're coming across that and you're young and you don't realize that like YouTube has always been slop content. YouTube content is actually better now in my mind than it was 10 years ago. If you're like 25 and you were 15, you probably don't believe that because you're a fucking idiot and a child and you don't have any goddamn understanding of the world. But I'm telling you right now, fucking 10 years ago, YouTube fucking sucked cock. This shit was fucking horrible. Horrible. For a while. It was so bad it gave Ethan Klein a career for him just to go, you guys remember the Ethan Klein cringe cam? All right, Ela, let's put on our things. We got and just like reacting to the most cringe content. 10 years ago, it was prank videos. And fucking, can I kiss 100 girls? And like, hey, do the blacks downtown get upset when you do white shit around them and get violent? You guys remember that fucking subsection? I'm going to a black place and doing white things. I wonder if people are going to get mad at me. No is the answer. So you have to pay people to go chase you around and shit. That was it. Then there were Let's Plays. Okay. There was like shitty fucking social commentary and there was still gossip. That was like the start of Keemstar. I feel like maybe even like 5 years into Keemstar. You know, iDubbbz. Still saying, da-na-na-na. His 4-syllable mantra that he cannot escape, no matter how much hair he combs over the front of that bulbous-ass light bulb-shaped fucking head of his. It's fine. It's fine. YouTube is fine. Now, DramaTube. If you don't like the drama content, okay, which is, here's the thing. People are they were stumbling over this. Is DramaTube conservative? Yeah. DramaTube is very conservative, but not in the American Republican Party type of conservative, obviously, because there's a lot of people that aren't Americans. It is inherently reactionary. It has to be. This isn't a judgment thing. I'm not mad at you guys, okay? Suck it the fuck up. It is inherently reactionary. It's just not just because it's React content, but because you have to presuppose a standard of living and existence and rules that people have to be abiding by, and your content is based around finding people that don't abide by those rules and scolding them. That's the point of DramaTube. That is always going to require you to be literally conservative, no matter what kind of conservative you are. Lefties, quote unquote, do the same stuff and it feels the same. Why? Because they're conservative lefties. You know what I mean? They're conservative progressives. They have their own little core area online. And so Jake, Actual Jake is a great example of this. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not judging you. It's just, that's what you do. Actual Jake is a reactionary. He is. He has a preset amount of rules that he treats as basically a dogmatic way of observing the world around him. And then he finds people that are in violation of those rules and scolds them, right? It's DramaTube. It's the same fucking thing. He has a lolcow. He's a pet lolcow. He has Dave. It's a pet lolcow. If there's a lefty that's collecting lolcows and going back to them, they're doing reactionary content. They're doing drama content. DramaTube appeals to a much wider audience, right? It's not specifically niche lefty drama, lefty reactionaryism. It's a broad type of reactionary content. Because of that, it has to appeal to a much wider swath of people who all sort of agree on the same stuff. So you have people that aren't necessarily like, you know, neo-Nazi conservatives, because neo-Nazis are still a little too far out. And you can be reactionary against neo-Nazis. It's fine. Wow, this guy's doing Nazi shit. Fuck this motherfucker. Yeah. Okay. Duh. Everybody's reactionary against pedophiles. Yeah, disgusting. All right, this guy's trying to fucking like hit on kids and shit on a Discord. Whoever, literally pick a name. I wasn't even thinking of anybody. Pick a name. That's a thing that a lot of people can collate, you know, they can agree on. And so like usually the entirety of that subsection is more a little bit center right, a little bit center right, but wide enough, broad enough that it also hits center left and also hits like mid right-ish. I wouldn't even say it goes full all the way fucking right, except for like a few people. You know what I mean? Those just, when those things exist, the hard lefty, hard righty, whatever the fuck, when there's a zealot around, they all just happen to be louder than everybody else. So you do see like the hardcore transphobes and all that kind of shit as well. This is not a moral judgment. I don't care, okay? I'm not telling you that you're not cool if you're not center left or whatever the fuck. I don't fucking give a shit. I'm like literally just describing the situation. So a lot of people see React Tube, you know what I mean? This drama tube, the subsection that is sort of like, I would say, you know, Keemstar, Nicholas Diorio, fucking Turkey Tom. That's sort of like core, right? And then like the people that are immediately around it. I'm probably leaving people out. Tommy C, whatever the fuck. I always try to read whatever's on that fucking stupid ass hat. Tommy C, that whole fucking crew. All right, people come in, people go out, and, you know, even listening to them from the outside recently, they're like, no, motherfuckers are not in this anymore. It's not like a boys club like it used to be or whatever the fuck with Augie RFC, whatever the fuck. So like, the issue here is, when you observe that from the outside and they disagree with something that you dislike, it's very easy to start hyper-focusing on the worst aspects of them. You know what I mean? In Praise of Shadows did this hardcore with the commentary community in general, which is more expansive than just drama slash commentary. That's when you start really mixing in like Mudahar, Moist Critical, Oompaville, Wendigoon, obviously. And that actually broadens it so that you really do start fucking pulling in some like legitimately right, and far right people. I'd say that Donut Operator guy is pretty fucking far right. He does like jerk off videos to fucking murder and shit. He like, you know, got the fucking Jergens at hand. And it's not a judgment thing, but it's just like when you start observing that, and if you're just trying to like boil something down for content, or if you're just feeling a little reactionary yourself, you're going to take the median that you see in that group, and you're going to make that representative of that group and of that content. And of course, you know, there's not a lot of righties, and every time there's righty stuff or anything, righties see anything, they try to blow it the fuck up and take it over because they don't get a lot of fucking creators in that direction, and it just goes poof, huge. And so those people kind of get pushed to the forefront of anything, right? And you also have a very big divide between the sort of hyper enclave and naturally self-insulating online leftist circles. I wouldn't call it the online left. It's just like a series of cellular lumps that happen to have vaguely Marxist, vaguely progressive, vaguely counter-fascist tendencies, right? But they're all kind of on their own and stuff. But they tend to build up little walls between each other and major walls between anybody that doesn't kind of firmly stay very far past center leftism, right? And now I'm even beleaguering those fucking statements. So this guy, Raymundo, tried to describe that without really knowing it very well. You know what I mean? Just trying to articulate like where these guys stand and kind of what they stand for. Not even like he was trying to do a good like breakdown of it, but just when you start talking about who people are and what they believe, you kind of got to be 100% on it, because they can say, I don't believe that. You know what I mean? So you got to be like, provide some evidence type shit. I think he's taken the video down, or I just can't fucking find it. But not in his defense, but in defense of that idea, I think there is a massive slop issue, specifically with DramaTube, that DramaTube could probably address and maybe should before it dries out their audience pool, maybe, is kind of how I would say it. I think that there's just a lot of, I've noticed this particularly with the Keffals thing. And when I started paying more attention to like the Turkey Tom and Mudahar subsection of stuff, it really feels like people have accused them of just raw wheat reading instead of like a Wikipedia article, just a Kiwi Farms thread. You know what I mean? Boil down a Kiwi Farm thread into a script on literally any topic you can come up with and just read it. Turkey Tom content sucks. It's just ass. If you're a fan of his, that's fine. I'm not mad at his politics. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care about his politics. I'm talking about his content. Boring as fuck delivery. I'm too old for zip, zip, bang, bang, pop, boom graphics shit. It just doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. So it's just like, I'm not hearing anything. If you turn on a Turkey Tom video and then you turn on a dial tone, I literally could not tell you the fucking difference as far as like what I'm going to glean information wise. I've tried to watch him on this. I've tried to watch him in the background a few times. It's miserable. They're not even fun to make fun of. Turkey Tom, if you're watching, fucking your Ronnie Radke video is one of the worst videos I've ever seen on YouTube. Not because it's inaccurate, because it's fucking boring. And I think even you didn't give a shit. You'd have to prove to me. I want to take me to a court of law and prove to me that you gave a fuck about that Ronnie Radke video. You guys don't believe me? Go and watch it yourself. I'm not turning it on while I'm listening. But yeah, basically these guys are just turning shit out. I think I heard Turkey Tom talking with, I think it was Destiny. Actually, I'm like 99% sure it was Destiny, where he's like, yeah, I just need to hire more people so I can put up more videos so I can make more money, which is fair. But the thing is at this point, you're kind of just, you're churning it out. You know what I mean? And there's no fucking passion. I don't think he gives a fuck or even knows anything about what he's talking about, right? He's just literally reading the news, super disinterested, which is dangerous first and foremost. I mean, if he's got somebody that's working on his staff that he really, really trusts to do a good job, okay, based, fucking go for it. But if he actually is letting people fucking script up for him and he's not due diligencing those scripts and just banging shit out as fast as he can, that's like a fucking surefire way to get in trouble for plagiarism, for just being fucking raw ass wrong about stuff, libeling people, and a series of other issues. I think Diesel was in there talking about like the plagiarism stuff and everyone. I think plagiarism is actually a serious issue on YouTube. H Bomber Guy is 100% right. I know people are ass mad about that. I think most of the people that are upset about it are upset because they don't understand what plagiarism is. Here's your primer. Send this to DramaTube people. Plagiarism, it does not mean that you get taken out into the town square and hanged, okay? And if you're like, well, people have a visceral reaction to being called a plagiarist, do what you tell people that you talk about to do, and that's suck it the fuck up, okay? Plagiarism is really easy to do. It's really easy to do plagiarism because of the semi-truism that there's not a lot of new shit out there. So it's easy to kind of just step on other people's work. It's bad to do, and it should be called out. If somebody's ripping off whole script, rerunning videos, chair streaming, playing with minimal or no commentary entire videos, and getting way more views than the people that they're taking stuff from, that's plagiarism. It's just bad content. Okay, first and foremost, it's bad content. It's plagiarism, it's bad. Is it illegal? No, it's not a fucking crime. If you're like, I feel bad when people call me that because of the things I do. Yeah, dumb fuck. It's a social faux pas. You're doing a faux pas. You're doing what you guys would be mad about if you had audiences that were smart enough to understand it. That's the kind of shitty part of it, right? The half listener, the average drama half listener is not going to understand the intricacies of fucking plagiarism. They're like, dude, just tell me about a pedophile. I can handle that. Tell me about a fucking pedo. Tell me somebody stole something. I can handle that. All right. I can understand the evidence you're going to provide. What's up, buddy? Why do you want attention? Are you okay? Is your friend outside barking? I have a dog. Why is he here? Look. Hi. What's up? What's the matter? Do you want a treat or something? I'm doing a segment. Wait, I forgot to turn the bunny meter back on. Buck, this. Ready? Here. Go ahead. Go get it. He was like pushing onto me. I might have to go let him out here in just a second. Where the fuck was I? But yeah, plagiarism is bad. It's a fucking issue on YouTube, mostly because it decreases smaller creators, especially people that are trying to take it seriously. I know, like, the thing, I just do this for fun. I have a real job. Okay, shut the fuck up, asshole. If that's not the person, if the person is trying to do this shit for a job and they don't want to be plagiarized, that's not a fucking valid response. It's actually pretty fucking diminishing. You know what I mean? It's a little irritating. It's quite rude, quite callous. But yeah, that shit's just bad content. Okay, that is an issue when it gets brought up. It is. I think most of that comes from the fact, and I think the concern I'm gonna give on the drama people side, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of leeway. I think the concern with that is you guys don't understand what plagiarism is, and that it's like, it's not a yes or no. It's varied. There's a lot of gray area. Like, missing a citation is still plagiarism, right? And you can get in trouble for that in like a school. On YouTube, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, like, all right, you made a mistake. You can usually just go like, oh, okay, like, we just need to expand the reaction to plagiarism to also include like, oh, I get it, but yeah, they fixed that. You know what I mean? It's like trying to say that every time someone makes like they misspeak or say like the wrong word, that they're like lying or trying to actively like invent words or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? It's the same as opposed to like just legitimately lying. It's the same thing. Plagiarism falls on a gradient. James Somerton literally stealing fucking everything and like missing a couple citations or just not understanding how to cite something properly are all plagiarism, but it's just wildly different. And that gradient is important. I think honestly, if you put it in your tool bag and you understand it a little better, you'll be a little less pissed off by it. And also you'll be able to use it. Because you can be like, oh yeah, this is definitely plagiarized from this other guy's stuff. Or when somebody says that it's been plagiarized, you can just say like, no, it wasn't. This is fine. Like, it's plagiarism and a technicality, but you're being a fucking cunt. You know what I mean? But the doc sharing and stuff that goes on, I saw this really bad. This came out. I think Diesel and the Op Block crew, when you guys were talking about the Nina person, that is why plagiarism can also be a fucking serious issue. That's self-plagiarism. It's a thing. I know. It's like, what do you mean you can plagiarize yourself? Yeah. You're literally passing off original work that you're trying to sell as being still original when you've actually already published it or sold it. That's a whole thing. That's why plagiarism is always a type of fraud. But the extremity of it is very varied. It's just sort of the word itself is belabored by how broad of a series of behaviors it encompasses. That's why you have like still like copyright infringement is still plagiarism, but it's legalized or legally codified plagiarism. It has its own different terms. Like, takes a lot of fucking weight off of the plagiarism itself, which is just an ethical concern when you're talking about it in America because we have copyright laws. I digress. I think the sharing docs and stuff makes people nervous about what is and what isn't plagiarism, especially if you don't have like a understanding of that world or of that concept and the ethical like limitations and concerns and like how to fix those issues. If someone was to accuse someone else of plagiarism and you're like, well, it kind of looks like what I'm doing, you might not be plagiarizing, but taking stuff from the same doc might make you feel like you are. And I think that's where some of the commentary drama type people that are like, fuck this whole plagiarism thing, are getting like a little excited about it, you know, and be like, this is just, it's being overblown. It's too crazy. It's not at all. There are serious plagiarism concerns on fucking YouTube. But like, if you just like teach yourself to understand it, I know asking like that subsection of the internet to explain shit to their audience that's that dry is hard. Maybe I have to make a plagiarism primer for drama people. That actually might be a good idea. But the sharing docs and reference materials is not plagiarism. Making the reference materials and docs and telling people that it's original work when it's not because other people have paid you for it and stuff, that's self-plagiarism. You're like, oh, okay. You can understand why it's bad. It puts other people in a compromised position as well, not just the plagiarist is the issue. I'm getting into the fucking weeds here. But I think ultimately, like, there is a bit of a slop problem. I think that there's just way too many people turning out super dog shit content at the highest levels of making this shit, and it's sort of pouring downhill, and you can't see some of the other better creators. And I think also it might be, and you know, it's up to you. If you have, it's a self-policing issue. So if you don't want to, I don't fucking care. It's not like I was out here thinking that you guys are about to start making the fucking Mona Lisa every time you turn on your goddamn cameras or anything. The issue is just going to be on your guys' side. How are you going to stand out if larger creators in your sphere get to talk over you and past you by taking your content or doing the same content that you would be covering and then just fucking hitting it, deluging it. And then the last one is just the overpressing. I said this, it's over predating. I said this in Diesel's chat last night when I was listening to this. There's a tendency to over predate. I know people want content and shit, but like, dude, no one gives a fuck about Bo Blacks that much. It just can't be true. It just can't be fucking true. And this tendency for drama, every place has a tendency to do this stuff. But I swear to God, 7 different versions at this point, where I'm not even trying to learn anything else about I don't know if new things are happening with the Bo Blacks drama, because every fucking thing that's happened with Bo Blacks has been reshared like 17 times, sometimes by like, it feels like the same person. These are fake numbers, but like a series of times. So I'm like, oh, okay, is this? And it's like, oh, that's just this thing. I'm listening to the same fucking stream clip again. You know what I mean? So you got like multiple entries of the same 3-hour, 4-hour stream clip, and then a bunch of like 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute sections of it. And then everybody else is covering the same thing. It's fine to saturate your market, obviously, but from the outside, what this hyper oversaturation looks like is a sort of like overzealous dedication to like performative cruelty. It seems the way that you guys see the left sometimes, you know, with the canceling shit, that's kind of like what you guys look like from the outside when you look into people's channels, and then it is the like, wow, dude, it's just relentless videos about this one thing. And obviously if it's your beat, it's your topic, okay, but there's certain modifiers that kind of really hammer home this impression, and it's the performative cruelty, you know, like the I'm really ginning it up, fucking I'm gonna draw somebody's face real ugly, the overusing that one fucking asshole's on that one asshole's caricatures, the guy that did the Keffel's caricature that everyone was fucking ass mad about. Y'all use those too much. You shouldn't be using them. All the fucking videos look the same person to person because you all jam in the fucking like ugly Hassan or the ugly Ethan or the ugly Mudahar again and again and again. So it makes the videos look like they're not different, even if they are. And sometimes they're not. And of course, if you're in these circles, you probably already know. And YouTube as a video service is helping you by telling you you've already watched this. You know what I mean? You've seen this. The red bar's filled. But from the outside, you guys look like fucking nutcases sometimes. And it's pretty easy. I know you're like, well, if you would have looked and paid attention and watched my 2.5 hour video on it and the 15 other videos I did that were actually legitimately well researched and stuff, but did have thumbnails where I was being like performatively cruel to somebody, you would see that I did my due diligence and I'm not just being transphobic or racist or an asshole or whatever the fuck. But like, no one, it's first impressions. You guys wouldn't even give anyone else that kind of grace yourself. You know what I mean? Maybe not all of you, but you know, you still let people in the circles that kind of do that same sort of thing. And it's not like a judgment. It's just like, I'm just telling you, if you're too close to it and you don't know what it looks like from the outside, that's what it looks like. Like if you search for like Bo Blacks right now, it's going to be a series of people just resharing the same fucking thumbnail again and again and again and again. And you kind of can't tell, which is the kind of definition of slop. There's no way to fucking parse through all of this shit. You guys don't have a lot of unique voices. You know what I mean? You have to really be in that community to try to pick people out, which is kind of why I'm always saying them. Like seeing somebody float to the fucking surface like so many fat laden turds in a fucking toilet bowl. is a miracle when you're kind of observing that area, particularly when you have like, you know, your Turkey Toms and shit who's like noticeable but fucking trash, boring as fuck content. Finding a diamond in the fucking rough like Diorio is actually goddamn funny. Yeah, there you go. Here and there is great, but like, there's no self-policing in that drama circle where you guys are like, hey, can you stop making dog shit? You know? And if you don't want to do that, you don't want to do it. It's fine. If you don't want to change any of this, it's okay. But that's the impression, and that's just how it's going to be. And, you know, if you kick the can down the road on this Raimundo guy, okay, whatever. He wasn't fucking ready. But when someone else wants to start fucking like laying you guys out, or specifically when you have another Bo Blacks moment where, you know, kind of the entire culture blows up because one of your prominent members is going against the own first principles of your little subgroup, then it's going to be a major point of weakness. And you're all going to look like fucking assholes. It's really hard to try to say, oh, I don't know that guy. I don't do stuff. Like, we're not friends. We don't work together. You know, he doesn't represent us. When I look and all of your thumbnails, your headers, the points you make, the way you talk, the people you know, the discords you're in, every little tiny thing about your fucking videos is almost exactly the fucking same. Exactly the fucking same. Like with, you know, small little changes and shit. But, you know, I'm not here trying to fucking AI art investigate every single one of your guys' fucking thumbnails. It's just like, okay, same thing again and again and again and again. You guys redid the thumbnail. You put a little angy face on it. All right, you drew a little fucking like little poo-poo expression on a guy. You got your own head in the side. If you made it, you made it. I'm a 25K Andy. People recognize my head. Then maybe your fucking head's there. You know, your little avatar, your PNG or whatever. But that's the issue. And I think it's a legitimate issue. I'm not trying to fucking say like you're all bad people for it. I'm just saying it's a clear fucking shortcoming. Like, it's like going to a bar district, all right, in a city, and it's like, yeah, there's some fucking really great bars here, but I got to walk past like 60 places that all look like someone got murdered on the front stoop to get to the one place that it's worth having a drink. And like 6 or 7 of these I go inside and the beers are overpriced anyway. And the one nice place on the block fucking doesn't even serve alcohol for some reason, and it calls itself Willie's Bar. What the fuck is this? That's kind of my overall interpretation of this Slop stuff. I was listening to the Raimundo guy, was pretty much, I would say 40% off base. But that 40% was pretty fucking critical. All right, that was headshot crit. That 40% was a very big amount of exposed. And he didn't seem to understand how drama content and content in general work. He just thinks that putting out a lot of stuff is bad, or doing clips from streams is like not great and stuff like that. There's a lot of like pretty telling comments in his comment section. I can't see them anymore because I think the fucking video is gone. But it is what it is. If I'm really hankering for drama, I just stick to TRO and Jay Aubrey. Dude, the Right Opinion is pretty much like one of the best guys ever. Oh yeah, I know how it looks. I think a lot of drama creators know how it looks, but I think they just don't care. And that's fine. Don't care. You know what I'm saying? I would say the drama does self-police on how people act, behave, but obviously when it comes to how people make content, because there's an unspoken agreement not to interfere with how they get the bag, I think that's probably going to be the issue, really. You can't be the people that are the people that talk about people and then you can't have anything. It's like a real iDubbbz moment. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. I think that's kind of the issue with commentary, is whenever you kind of run into one of you guys having like a hard line or something, it always seems like cringe to me. Like unironically, like your guys like random fucking rules you'll have that not even everybody necessarily shares, but that like might not even be a thing outside. And like, yeah, I'll say anything, you know, I hang out with people that say slurs. We do this and that, fucking going into people's shit, sharing this, sharing that, whatever the fuck. And then you hit like one of the little rules and they're like, oh, never do that. It's always just kind of funny because you're supposed to, it's like there's an appearance, an insinuation of transgressiveness, and being like, you know, fucking down, right? Like I get down and dirty. I fuck around a little bit, and then you hit one of those moments where people are like, oh, I don't know about that. I just find it funny. I think it's fucking funny.